Hi everyone, we've been working with JSON data and we've talked a little bit about connecting to sources of web data. It's very helpful to practice navigating structures that are heavily nested. As you can see, this is one such example. And every API is going to return a data structure that's a little bit different in how it's organized. So I wanted to give you an example of how you can get to know the structure of some JSON data and turn that into something usable in Python. As we've been discussing, this is very much a goal of ours. Okay, so here I have some JSON data. It looks like it's information about a quiz. And I have multiple keys associated with dictionaries, and then in some cases I have keys associated with lists. So for example, the overall dictionary is called quiz, and then the first key is called quiz, and along with that we have a dictionary that contains a key called sport with a value that is also a dictionary. And then there's another key for Q1, question 1, which has a value that is a dictionary. And within that, we have multiple key value pairs. What we're going to practice doing is accessing some data that's buried in this structure, notably the options possibility. So it looks like these are the multiple choice options for the quiz question 1, and notice there's a typo in one of them. So we need to be able to access this value so we can make a change to it, right? Okay, so let's see how this could be done. First thing we want to do is import JSON, right? We're accessing a block of JSON data. We're not connecting to an API, we're just simulating that action. Okay, so we're going to import JSON. We're going to set up our Python object using JSON loads, which takes this from the format of a string in Python and then turns it into a usable Python object. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so we'll import JSON. Whoops, I better run the data first, and then we'll import JSON, and then we'll print our data object, and I can trust that this is in fact a Python data object because I use the JSON loads method. Okay, so let's start digging into this object. I'm going to print multiple lines, and each time I'm going to access something within this structure, getting closer and closer to the data that I want. So I see that the first key is quiz, so let me just print that, and as I go through I'm going to keep myself organized so I can just see one result at a time. Okay, so notice what I have now. I've been able to access this portion of the quiz. Okay, and I think it goes down a little bit more, but let's keep going. Okay, so I'm gonna keep copying these lines of code and adding more and more subsets so that I can get closer to the data that I want. And let's comment out the line above. Okay, there we go, getting closer and closer. Let's add another selector, that's what I like to call it, for Q1. I took a little time to better understand this structure, which is helpful because that allows me to access the information. Okay, so here I have now a dictionary with multiple key value pairs. The first key value pair is keyword is question. The value is the quiz question itself, and I actually want to, remember I said I want to be able to access the Golden State Warriors. I need to be able to change that into the correct spelling, right? So that means I need to first access the options key. There we go. Okay, so last thing I need to do now is access the Golden State Warriors. But notice this is not a dictionary, this is a list. So when working with dictionaries, I access portions of the dictionary with keys. When I'm working with a list, I access portions of the list with numbered indices. So that is at index 2, right? 0, 1, 2, and this should give me the information that I want to extract. So there we go, we're able to access the Golden State Warriors. It definitely requires some patience, but that's I think a useful example showing how we can get closer to information that we want that might be buried in some JSON data. And we'll see with different APIs, the structure changes. Often it's advantageous for us to create some kind of a function, and we'll see that in the next example.